So, British bikes and oil leaks. They kind of go hand in hand, really, almost as much as fish and chips. I mean, years ago, it is accepted because, let's be honest, most engines leaked a bit back then. Cork gaskets failing, rope oil seals failing. I'm thinking of V8s with that one. Done a few of those in years ago. Crankshaft oil seals with the rope. Yeah, along with lines such as it's marking its territory. If it stopped leaking, it's ran out of oil. These were commonplace. It's not really accepted nowadays, though. The Japanese have sorted it. Even the Italians, albeit with some German intervention, they're pretty all tight nowadays too. The 961, it's not bad. Most of them have leaks, but there's only really two areas where they have been leaking from. Starter motor, that's the first one that springs to mind. This was hugely improved circa 2017 when they started venting the primary side. Still get a few issues though. The starter motor itself was never designed for the 961. It is literally plucked from Harley Davidson's parts catalogue and then copied. That starter motor along with the paper gasket never really worked. Had a hell of a lot of leaks. The main solution was copious amounts of RTV, which hit or miss as to whether or not it sealed it up. As most of you are aware by now, I use a rubber coated steel gasket with an internal lip seal, and this has pretty much eradicated the oil leaks on that point. We still get oil leaks from the start motor itself, an internal O-ring, oil seal, sorry, failure. You can quite often see this if you take the cap off the solenoid, the plunger, you can see some oil in there. So that's one to look out for. And have a good nosy around the starter itself. If you've got a leak, you can normally see if it's leaking from the face between the starter and the crankcase, or if it's actually leaking out the starter motor. So yeah, a close inspection, clean it all off, get it nice and dry, ride it, check it with a torch. The other area is the rocker cover. As one of my customers has very recently caught out, Danny. Hi, Danny. He literally just left mine. He was riding his bike back home. We've done a hell of a lot of work on that bike. And she left here looking lovely. Unfortunately, on his way back home, his rocker cover gasket failed. Quite annoying considering that's one of the areas I ain't even touched. It was very dry whilst it's here, but on the way home, the gasket split. Now, I've seen this a fair few times now. A cut appears right about here, both sides. And when I say a cut, it is literally a cut. Next time I get one, I'll try and remember to photograph it and add it to the comment section. But it literally looks like someone's took a razor blade and cut the gasket. So I can only assume on that one, it's a manufacturing defect, probably on the roll of paper and however it goes through the process, because I've seen it too often. So that's a bit odd. The other point is right on this corner. You quite often see the gasket overhanging like this. If we remove the rocker cover, get that prepared. Remove the gasket. Plenty of bolts bolting this rocker cover down all around here. But one key area that's missing a fixing point is right here. So the end of this straight, before that radius, ideally there should be a bolt right there. So if we look at the underside of this rocker cover, see there's some writing on the gasket face. Except for one area that I skipped right there. Here, right on that corner. See there's no writing. It's got an uneven clamping force. And that's your problem. So if you ever get a gasket failure on one of these, I strongly recommend, with the aid of a flat plate, you check this for distortion. Because they've got uneven clamping force, these often distort. So I've been pretty successful on a few of these with the flat plate and some wet and dry, around about an 800 grit and some lubricant, WD-40, anything like that. Take your time, even pressure applied to the back of the rocker cover, moving it in different directions. Eventually you can get these back into true. Ideally check it with some engineer's blue, but yeah, you can save these But say, if you're changing a gasket, don't just pull the rocker cover off and stick it back on. Check these for distortion. Obviously use a decent gasket. I use the teal ones. No issues with Teal's gaskets. Also, I like the colour. Simple things. But yeah, that's the problem we've got. It is literally a design fault. They're missing a fixing point right here. So without that fixing point, there always will be uneven clamping force on the rocker cover. But the best we can do is get it back into true and bolt it down again. Torque it down nice and evenly. 12 Newton meters. And yeah, keep an eye on it, guys. All I can say. All right, guys, hope that helps, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.